to
Welcome back to the Shack.
Episode 13 of Back in the Shack, Shack Out Back.
Curse number 13. I don't think this will be a cursed episode, though. I think this will be a very interesting episode.
I haven't edited yet, so I don't know if that's true or not. Welcome to Shack Out Back. This week, we're going to talk about... What are we talking about, Dan?
I had to actually listen and go back because I wanted to see the exact wording I used because we agreed it was going to be specifically on podcasters and YouTubers who have kind of influenced us.
Throughout our brain generations, our time on this earth.
Yeah, and then you brought up some specific questions to me.
Yeah, I brought it up, like, we're going to separate this into, like, what we used to listen to, what we're listening to now, and what was the last one?
That's what I'm trying to look at. I think I already scrolled past it. No, you're talking about Duck Dynasty. Oh, yeah, it was like 2 hours ago. I thought we could do stuff we used to watch, stuff we're watching, and how it has affected us.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's always start, though, with the little biweekly breakdown.
Yeah, the good old biweekly breakdown. You go first, Dan. Tell me what you've been up to the last 10 days or whatever.
Finishing up school. I graduate in a week, so that's all interesting.
You did a graduation party. You did graduation party not 2 hours ago.
I did graduation party not 2 hours ago, and right when it started, I was playing Binding of Isaac, so I just continued playing that through...
And he never stopped.
I applied for a job I'm quite hopeful for, but I will know if I have that probably by the end of next week or so if I'm contacted for it, so that'll be interesting. I'm quite hopeful for it.
I'm sitting our big podcast throne. That's our job.
Yeah, you gotta start making money. We can start monetizing this, be sponsored by Gamer Subs. Other than that, I've been working quite a fair bit. They've been calling me in a bunch because we lost 2 casual workers, so they're trying to give part-time people more hours, and it's like...
Listen, I don't care about your fucking grocery store politics. Let's go games, movies, television. Come on.
Games, movies. I bought a big board game, and I got it today called Sidereal Confluence.
What the hell is that?
It's a game for 4 to 9 players that you all play as an alien race, and it's described as the most aggressively cooperative game in existence.
Aggressively cooperative? What the fuck does that mean?
You all have an economy, and you have to trade with each other's because every alien race can't make all the different resources that you need, so you need to make deals and trade with people, but you obviously don't want to because you lose resources if you do that.
That sounds fun.
So it has amazing reviews, and it just got remastered because the first edition came out a few years ago and was horribly ugly. So the game company picked them up and remastered them, and it's like I'm
Puerto
really
Rico.
excited for it. Yeah, just like Puerto Rico, except they didn't really remaster it. They just kind of reprinted it again.
And man, it costs more money.
It costs like $300 or something, the special edition we looked up.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, me and Cassie started watching Snowpiercer TV show season 2.
How is that? I really like the movie, but I have not seen the show.
So the show, at least to my knowledge, I don't know if it like takes place in like before the movie, but I'm pretty certain it's a completely different time. Like it's a completely different retelling of the Snowpiercer story.
It seemed like it was like inspired by the film.
Yeah.
It was just like a retelling of that. Yeah.
We like it a lot. It's really entertaining. Like the effects are really cool. The politics are really nice. It really plays to its strong suit that they're all stuck on a train. They're not doing anything weird yet, and it's...
That was a good idea of an environment to expand upon, just because it was so enclosed and stuff. Let me ask you this, Dan: have you guys started watching the Sweet Home Television show yet?
No, we haven't. We scroll past it a lot, and I look at it, and every time I look at it, your messages come up in my head that say, "Don't watch it. It's horrendous."
It was one of the worst television shows I've seen in a long time. The first time they fight a monster, you know that big bulbed head guy in Sweet Home. Yeah. They play an Imagine Dragons song.
That doesn't even sound real. Oh, that's amazing. Talking about horrible live action stuff, you know how big I am into Gundam, and Netflix just announced that they're making a Gundam live action movie. So
what is that gonna be?
Oh god, I'm so worried it's gonna be absolute shit, and it probably will be.
You can't put your faith in things, Dan. You can't do that.
Yeah. Other than that, not too much. We've just kind of been watching that. We started Community, and we're like finishing the first season.
Oh shit, I love Community. It is one of the best television shows I've ever seen. I don't watch the 4th season. I watched 2 episodes of it, and I just skipped to the 5th.
Is that the Yahoo one that they picked up? Or yeah, no, that's the one where they lost Dan Harmon, right?
That's the one where they lost Dan Harmon, yeah. You know I'm a big fan of Dan Harmon, and it really showed when he wasn't there.
Yeah, they shut on the 4th season a lot in... What did they do, 6 seasons? 6 seasons
5.
of the movie? 5 seasons?
They say it was like, I remember one of the episodes in season 5 was like, do you remember we had that gas leak last year?
Yes, I do. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit. Also, no, they did 6 seasons. I was gonna say.
Oh, it was 6 seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah, Yahoo Screen did the last 2
Yahoo
seasons.
Screen.
And lots of people think that they're all horrible, and I think the end of the 6th season was, like, the 6th season still has some pretty funny episodes, but it's a completely different show.
Like, they're definitely not as good as the first 3 seasons, but the last 2 seasons are pretty good. Like, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, very different dynamic. But that's kind of all I've been up to. What about you, Jimbo?
My turn. So let me bring this up the bat here. I watched all 6 seasons of Longmire in 6 days.
How many episodes is that, would you say?
Over 60, and they were an hour long each.
Jesus Christ. Longmire, 6 seasons, yeah.
It was the best cop show I've ever seen, and it had episodes in it that I think are some of the best dramatic episodes I've seen in television in a long time. They were fucking really, really good. That show went for 3 seasons on regular cable, and then Netflix bought them after season 3, and then they just were like, okay, cut out a lot of this fucking random shit, like, yes, a new murder of the week, and they just concentrated on the characters, and it was really good as a result.
Huh. Oh, yeah, Annie first 3, Netflix last week. That's interesting. I guess it was popular enough. Netflix usually just does, like, 2 seasons, and then they kind of quit.
They were talking about a movie. Well, they usually do 2 or 3 seasons, and I guess they did that after the 3rd season, right? Like, they did 6 seasons of Longmire. At least it ended on a very good note. They're talking about doing a movie, too, before COVID hit as well, but I don't know about that. Hellblade. We both played Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice.
Yes, we did. You're right.
I haven't finished it yet, but I have enjoyed it very, very much so far.
Yeah, I thought it was very good, and it got me listening to the band that's promoted in that game, and also in the trailer for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2 that I've started listening to quite a fair bit.
What kind of music they play? Is it like Celtic rock or something?
Let me look up exactly what they are called, because Cassie says, and I quote, "It is the worst music choice you've picked in a long time."
Wow. Woman of no culture, Cassie Hatt.
So, Wikipedia describes them as an experimental folk music band made up from members of Denmark, Norway, and Germany, but their entire music is based on runic inscriptions from Germanic people of, like,
That's
Bronze,
amazing.
Iron, and Viking age. So, a lot of their songs are very heavy on chanting and natural instruments and screaming, and
it really
very
works
primal.
for the game. Yeah,
I like a lot of their music. I genuinely listen to a lot of their music now, and they are definitely not for everyone, but I think the band is called, I should have said it earlier, I probably will butcher the name, but it's Heilung, Heilung.
Going on the rest of the stuff into this week quickly, I started watching the Matrix series, and I stopped because the movies are bad.
They're not that bad.
The first movie was fun and like a culmination to me of a lot of like 90s edge films. Like, I enjoyed watching it, and I fell asleep during the second one because it was so fucking generic and boring. I hated it.
Me and Cassie watched all 3 of them, and I can remember the first one a lot and the third one a lot. The second one was the war. They had a big war. All the things came.
I have no idea. Yeah,
they were in the mechs and stuff, I'm pretty sure.
They were in some mechs.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But yeah.
I just watched Noroi the Curse, which is a Japanese found footage horror film for the second time.
Noroi?
Noroi. It is one of the best found footage movies I've ever seen. I won't spoil any of it because it's so good.
Where'd you watch it?
On Shudder. Where else do you think I watched it?
Yeah, true.
And then I read a book called French Exit, which is by a Canadian author called Patrick DeWitt, and he wrote the book that The Sisters Brothers is based on. And I am in awe of his books. They are so economic with the words he uses. He is like one of the best authors I've ever read about saying a lot with not a lot of words.
Was that the book you were saying you read in like a single day?
Yeah, I read it in a day. It was only like 200 pages, so I read it like in the morning. It was just 2 sittings, and I finished it. I'm a fast reader, though. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Other than that, I think that's all I've done the last 2 weeks of note. How about we get on to our topic at hand here, Dan?
The topic at hand awaits. I'm excited.
I'm going to ask you, what are your earliest memories of YouTube?
Oh, God. My earliest memories of YouTube, really reaching back, are like MW1 and MW2, like kill cam montages with like E-double songs playing in the background.
So that's like 2010.
Yeah, something like that. And I also remember watching a lot of Woody's Gamer Tag. I'm pretty sure he's on the podcast
called... What the fuck is that?
He's on the podcast that they had Wings of Redemption on that's been going on
really?
for a long time. It's like
yeah.
Fuck, what is it called? I looked it up before this, but he's still going on, but he's just a dude that would do like a lot of Call of Duty videos. Painkiller Unleashed, I believe, is the podcast name. Something like that.
I watched that Wings of Redemption documentary, and it's one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time. But like that podcast name is shit.
Yeah, I believe it's called Painkiller Unleashed. But I watched a lot of that stuff. He did a lot of sequences like Mail Time Monday and stuff, where he just talk about stuff that people have asked him. And he's just one of those YouTubers you will definitely, at least in my opinion, you will grow out of, because his content is very similar. It could be completely different now, but I have no clue. But I just remember listening to him a lot. JonTron, I remember the very, very early JonTron videos, like the Daikatana review.
Daikatana. There's one that he pulled down. Do you know there's one he pulled down where it said top 10 overrated games, and he got so much hate that he pulled it down?
Yes, I do remember that. Also, the other oldest YouTuber that I remember, if you're really asking me, it's probably like the Normal Boots. You remember that collective
conglomeration of channels of JonTron,
like Peanut Butter Gamer,
the Completionist, Pro Jared.
Continue was on there too.
Continue's still going. You believe that?
Continue's still going. Yeah. And I think me and you have talked about it. I respect it a lot because I will not watch their stuff because I find it very pointless, but they seem like very nice guys.
I think the thing is that they just have fun making that show. Yeah. They've been doing it for like 10 years or something, and their views are awful. They don't have anyone watching their fucking show.
Yeah, it's like under 10K, which, saying that, 10K is still technically a lot of
it's people. It's still good, but
on
they
YouTube
used to get,
space,
they used to get like hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
I'm going to tell you about my earliest memories of YouTube, Dan, which are me going to the library, the public library, the year after YouTube came out, and watching Robot Chicken clips.
Jesus Christ. When did YouTube come out? 2007?
2005.
Really?
And I was watching Robot Chicken clips in 2006.
Holy shit. Wasn't the first video posted on YouTube like a dude looking at an elephant or something?
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
When I started watching YouTube, I used to watch a lot of I was stupid. I tried to watch like lots of clips from TV shows or whatever. But then when I was really watching YouTube a lot, I was watching Let's Plays, which is a format that is fucking dead now. Holy crap.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Let's Plays too. My God, yeah. I used to watch the Rad Brad.
I used to watch Chugga Conroy. Do you know who Chugga Conroy is?
No.
Look up Chugga Conroy.
Jim, I don't think anyone knows who Chugga Conroy is.
He still gets like over 100,000 views on his Let's Plays, which is really respectable for Let's Plays on YouTube.
I just don't get... I guess it's just kind of like streaming, except
Let's Plays has been totally replaced by streaming.
Yeah.
Right now, I only still watch like maybe 2 Let's Play channels, and back then I used to watch like a dozen or more of them when I was like going into high school or in late like grade school.
Yeah, I never did the thing, and you'd pick me as the character who would do this. I never watched, because a lot of people experienced anime on YouTube by watching a 30-minute episode or a 22-minute episode in like 6 3-minute parts because of the
I remember that shit.
Length on video.
It would be like if your video was over or under 10 minutes or something, you could not have a copyright claim at some point. So you used to watch like part 1 of 17, and it was a 20-minute fucking episode. Yeah.
I never really did that to my knowledge, and I could be forgetting a ton of this stuff, because how did you get information for this video? What did you do? Did you just delve into your memories, or did you look at your past subscriptions?
I know, because I'm still subscribed to some of the people that I like on YouTube, and the ones that aren't, I do remember a lot. So I just went through my subscriptions that I have right now, and just like pulled out ones that were like the ones that I've been listening to for a long time, and ones that I haven't. The one that I wanted to start out with that I really was really into was like Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, and Press Hard to Continue, who did the Co-optional podcast, which was the first podcast I ever listened to.
Yes, you talk a lot about Total Biscuit.
Total Biscuit was a good content creator who made quality videos, and he didn't have a life, and then he died.
Very sad.
Which is very sad.
I don't ever remember being the biggest fan of him, but I liked his videos. I remember watching videos by him quite a lot.
I feel like because that was my first podcast, so the Co-optional podcast was a weekly 3-hour podcast where they would talk about like gaming news and like talk about the games they've been playing and bring up topics and shit like that. So it was the Game Station podcast because they was like the network they were in. They called it the Game Station podcast. And they went to, do you remember Polaris, which was like a YouTube network?
Yeah, I do.
So that came out, and then they changed it into the Co-optional podcast, and then Polaris like was dissolved, and they were still the Co-optional podcast after.
Why do I remember Polaris?
Because they used to, so they were owned by Disney. This was Disney's YouTube conglomerate like network. Do you remember when YouTube networks were a fucking thing?
Yeah, like the Maker Studios and stuff, and Machinima. Yeah.
So Maker Studios is part of Polaris, I think. That was that podcast. And my first few podcasts, like the one we did together and then the one I made with my friend, were also like 3 hours long because I was like, this is what I listen to. Other people must do that too. So I made them so fucking long,
well,
dude.
Even our other podcast that we tried, we got 2 or 3 episodes in, was like 2 hours long, hour 45 minutes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of talking and like... That's
it was
just a lot of shit to say.
It was like we would do that and we'd get fucking tired. I think part of the reason why we've stuck to this one more is that I feel it's a little bit fresher and it's definitely not as exhausting for us to record and for me to edit.
I like talking about this. 45 minutes to an hour. I feel like if I want to listen to something, that's what I'm listening to
That's
nowadays.
like the sweet spot, yeah, for podcasts.
I like it. It lets you get from topic to topic quite quickly, and you don't have to spend 3 hours trying to figure out, talking about the Wolf House.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, Jesus Christ. Could you imagine if we talked about a 70-minute movie for 3 hours?
For 3 hours.
Holy shit. I feel like the hour-long episode is like something that I can turn on and be like, oh, that was good, and turn off. Or consequently, a lot of people listen to podcasts when they're like going to and from work. And if your commute is over like 25 minutes, that's too long to commute, my friend.
Yeah.
What was like some of the earliest podcasts you listened to?
So I wasn't as big on, like, I have a little list of the podcasts that I've listened to, and I wasn't ever huge on podcasts.
No, me neither. I only listened to a couple of them.
Yeah. Like, the earliest podcast that I can ever really remember listening to, and I don't think there was one before this. I was really trying to figure it out. The earliest one I can remember listening to was Sleepycast.
Yeah, you would talk about that a lot.
Yes. So even that was just, I think, grade 10. So I don't think I would have been listening to podcasts. It's not really a thing like a grade 8 listens to. So I'm pretty sure this would have been my first podcast that I listened to.
Yeah, I think that was around the same age when I started listening to the Co-optional podcast, too. I remember it was like Halloween. It was the first stream I watched, too, on Twitch. But so it was like Halloween, like 2010 or 2011. I watched the Co-optional podcast, like Halloween episode on Twitch.
Are you big into streaming or no? Like, do you watch
not
streamers?
At all. I don't watch streamers at all. I watch
VODs that are posted on...
Yeah, that's what I do. The only streamer I watch is VODs of Lobos Jr.
Yeah, I can see that. Long-form content. I like that long-form content when I'm in a mood for it, and then I'll not watch anything for like 6 months, and then I'll be like, sweet, I have 180 hours of Lobos Jr. content I need to sit through.
Another Dark Souls mod that's mind-bending. Let me watch that.
Sleepycast was they're all internet creators. They're still all actively around for the most part.
Except for that one guy who's on drugs.
Yeah, bearing a couple of them that have either stopped making a lot of stuff or are doing long form projects and they're not as active. Or there's I think there's only one or two. A dude named Stamper was on there, and apparently he's not doing that well. He's been battling drugs for a while.
Well, these guys were all like
Newgrounds. They're all from
Newgrounds people. Yeah.
So it was Psychic Pebbles, it was Chris O'Neill, it was a lot of people like that. Stamper, Rice Pirate Mick,
what was the
Tomar,
format?
Josh.
Did they just shoot the shit?
They just shot the shit for 45 minutes, hour and a half, sometimes a little longer.
See, Al Chessbreach, which I've talked to you about before on the podcast, and he was also maybe one of the first YouTubers I ever religiously watched too. He had this podcast on his channel called Real Life Friends, which was just him and his friends talking. And I remember I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, "This is not for me. I do not like podcasts where people just talk about fucking nothing."
So I liked Sleepycast to the point that I've probably watched all. I think there's 3 seasons of episodes. It's not that many episodes, but it's quite a bit. I've watched every single episode at least 3 to 4 times, I bet. I've watched all those episodes. Yeah, just ran through them. I love that thing. And it's not for everyone. Like, it is an absolute clusterfuck. There are some not good sections in that are very not good if you're, like, don't find a lot of things funny, if you get offended, or if you're...
Well, a lot of those same guys are on Oni Plays, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, Oni was on there a lot. Yeah.
I really enjoyed listening to compilations of Oni Play stuff, like conversations they have, like making fun of the Nostalgia Critic and stuff. So I imagine that in a podcast form, people would really like it too.
It's good, yeah. It's also just I follow a lot of them on Twitter as well. Like, there's a lot of animators that they had on there, like Sabtastic, that I believe I have a print from that I ordered online. She does a lot of stuff on Twitter, and I follow Chris O'Neill's making a game right now. One of the dudes actually voices one of the JoJo characters in Part 5 in the English dub, which is really cool. I have one of his shirts that I bought from his merch store. So I still actively follow all those people, so very cool.
Any other, like, early YouTube stuff you want to talk about before we move on to, like, what we've been watching lately?
Yeah, early YouTube stuff. Honestly, for me, I was the gamer in elementary school. I was the guy that would wear the shirt that would say... Yeah, I was the guy that would wear the shirt that would have the Triforce on it, when realistically, I've never played a Zelda game in my life, except I've only played... I was a fucking poser. Me and Cass talked about that. Anyone listening to this that knew me from, like, elementary school, I'm sorry. I don't know why I was like that. I had, like, Zelda shirts and shit, and it's like, I don't know why I felt like I need to buy those shirts. I had only ever beaten and played the Minish Cap. That's the only Zelda game.
That's a good Zelda, but...
It's a good-ass game. And I had, like, Mortal Kombat shit, and it's like, I don't think I'd ever played a Mortal Kombat game except for, like, maybe at my friend's house or something. Like, I wasn't actively invested in the series.
I definitely was a cringy child, but I think I was so out of sync with what people expected and what was cool that I didn't even pretend to do anything. I just ran around fucking talking about Pokemon and whatever.
I wish I did that more. But early YouTube for me, all it was video game shit, Let's Play stuff, and like hacks in video games, how to get the most epic Pokemon hacks, how to find Missing No and shit like that.
Yeah, early stuff when I'd be on YouTube with my friends, just like, you seen this video? And you watch, like, Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny and shit like that.
Yeah, I think you still sing that. Wasn't that the thing you were singing, like, on Deep Rock a couple days ago?
At Ultimate Destiny. Yeah, that song sticks in your head. It's an earworm. Back onto what we're watching on YouTube right now. So I, like, put a bunch of YouTubers together, like, on a list.
Me too, yeah.
And I kind of grouped them together. So I like video essayists a lot. I like Jack Saint. I like political commentary too, so I like ContraPoints and a bunch of stuff like that too. Lindsay Ellis talking about, like, social stuff.
Yep.
I really like some Let's Players still. I still like Jesse Cox, and I listen to this Let's Player called Gopher sometimes, who does, like, role playing Let's Plays, which are pretty interesting.
Gopher. I feel like I know who that is. I feel like I've watched him before.
Yeah, I like spooky shit. I like those channels that, like, curate spooky stuff on the internet, like Night Mind. Here's some examples: Night Mind, Nightmare Expo, Atrocity Guide.
I have Atrocity Guide. I knew you were gonna say Atrocity Guide.
I also support her on Patreon. Too. Yeah,
I love Atrocity Guide. She makes I think she makes some of the best content on YouTube right now, in my opinion.
Her Breatharian video got pulled, eh?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Breatharians. They gotta breathe harder. They can't breathe fast enough to get that video delisted. It'll be re-uploaded 1,000 times. Pulling a video just makes it more popular.
She was talking about it on Patreon that, really? Like, she's going through the process of just having it reinstated the next couple of weeks.
Lunatics. Those people are actual lunatics.
I feel like when my interest in video games has gone from watching people do Let's Plays to people, like, do... I don't know, it's like a mix between, like, a video essay and a commentary and review. Like, I really like Civvy 11. I've talked about Civvy 11 to you before.
Yeah.
And Grimbeard and a few others like that. I really like, funny shows. They're kind of like JonTron or AVGN. Like, I feel like Angry Video Game Nerd, talking about proto-YouTube, Angry Video Game Nerd started that trend of, like, reviewing a game and talking about it in depth, and it's just gotten way better from there, right? Like, most of these people...
I don't watch too much AVGN, but I have a lot of respect for him. He's cultivated a lot of YouTube landscapes, and I didn't really know he's like a father. He has, like, kids and stuff. He has a business.
Man's been making AVGN videos for 17 years.
Yeah, that's mental. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, and sometimes I'll get into it where I want to watch all of them, and I'll just watch his backlog that he's uploaded. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. Like, he seems very calm with it and everything, too. Like, I don't know any drama with him. I'm sure there is some.
The only drama I ever remember him being in was he just didn't want to review Ghostbusters 2016 because he thought it was going to be bad. And people kept yelling at him and saying he was, like, a masochistic piece of shit. Or not masochistic, chauvinistic piece of shit. And he just put out a video that said, "I'm not doing a review. I refuse. This is ridiculous." And that was, like, the only... big turmoil he's been in. Consequently, he did videos with Nostalgia Critic, and Nostalgia Critic's like a huge fucking piece of shit in real life and treated people like garbage, so...
Good old Nostalgia Critic. That's some proto-YouTube as well. Nostalgia Critic, Spoonie, that whole gang. What was that group called? God. Do you know?
Well, his website was called The Nerd with Glasses or some shit like that. I don't remember. It was like Nostalgia Critic's band. It was him and Spoonie and Linkara.
And there was the girl, too, for a bit until she left because she was so
Lindsay Ellis, yeah, I already talked about her.
Yes.
There was, like, two of them that I know that got out of that, like, pretty unscathed. Was her and Todd in the Shadows, who did music reviews, who still makes really good content. But other than that, I mean, me and you like Jim Stephanie Sterling.
Yeah, I've got him on the... I wrote a little list of the podcast. I've got the Jimquisition, so I actually wanted to ask you that. Do you know if the brand is still Jim Sterling for Jimquisition, or
yes.
is
well, I think his name is their name
is
the
Jim
brand
Sterling.
is Jimquisition. The brand is Jimquisition.
Okay,
but their name is James Stephanie Sterling.
Okay, yeah, that's so I knew that part.
I think they said you can call him Jim, you can call her Steph, and he doesn't. They don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another podcast I listened to. He does a podcast called the Podquisition, and I don't listen to it anymore because Miracle of Sound left, and I think the show got worse. Sue me if you're hearing this, Jim Sterling. That's what I think. But that was a really good show, too. I really enjoyed it. And that was it was shorter, and it was more of a, what's going on in video games, and them making really disgusting jokes about weird shit.
Yeah, I go into a phase where I'm not the biggest. It's called Podquisition. Is Jimquisition the website?
Jimquisition's the website. Jimquisition's the show. Podquisition's the...
Oh, yeah, true. Never thought about it that way. I'll go into phases where I don't listen to the Podquisition for like a year, and then I'll listen to a bunch in one day or a bunch over the course of a week. But I watch the Jimquisition like pretty much every time. Yeah, regularly.
Yeah. Really, yeah, I love their videos so much.
Yeah, me too.
Going through, just to wrap up, like I like a lot of technical videos about technology and stuff like that. So I watch My Life in Gaming, Tech Tangents, LGR... 8-Bit Guy, Retro Recipes.
LGR is another one for me. I won't watch anything, and then I'll watch everything in one sitting. Yeah, I like all that stuff.
His videos are so calming. His videos have such like a balming effect on my fucking brain.
I was gonna say
you say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, just to interrupt you for 1 sec. My YouTube has gone through sort of the same thing. I used to watch a lot of gaming content, and I still do to an extent.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But my YouTube history and my YouTube likes have really focused in on... I like watching stupid long-form videos about very narrow topics that
very
I had no
things.
interest... Yeah. I watched an hour and 10-minute video yesterday, or an hour-long video yesterday, on the Warriors book series by Aaron Hunter. It's about...
Cool.
Yeah, I watched a video like that, and I watched shit like... Obviously, Atrocity Guide, and I like Bo Miles is one of my favorite YouTubers in the past couple of years. But I've noticed I really like very specific things about very niche topics just for the fun of it to watch it.
The way I've kind of focused, I talk about Nexpo and Nightmind and stuff. The way I've focused some of my YouTube subscriptions is like, give me channels that like recommend me to watch other stuff on YouTube. I think I have over 200 YouTube subscriptions just because it's like all of this different stuff that I like. They upload maybe once every 6 months or something, but their content's so good and well produced that I'm like,
I can see that. That's kind of the same stuff I've fallen into. Like Frederick Knudsen, is that his name? Down the Rabbit Hole guy.
Down the Rabbit Hole, the guy who makes those awesome documentaries. I really loved the one about the poisoned wine. That one was so good.
The Australian wine poisoning. Yeah, like his video, again, one of the best people on YouTube in my opinion right now. Insane fucking quality.
Yeah.
That was the Wings of Redemption. It's literally a documentary. Like, it's a YouTube video. It's 2 hours long.
He did one on Chris Chan, too, I think.
He did one on Chris Chan. He did one on Spoonie. He's done one on the Temple OS one, too.
That one was the
video.
best one he's done.
It
that
was
video,
disturbing.
Can you imagine, like, trying to disseminate that information about that men's life and put it into a documentary? That must have been a Herculean task.
Just insanity. Like, go and watch a Temple OS video by Down the Rabbit Hole. It's like, again, it's like an hour and a half long. They're long form videos. It's insane.
It's one of the best videos on YouTube.
Yeah, 100%.
The last little chunk I wanted to talk about, the last couple channels, were Vagrant Holiday and
Yes.
SHIEY. I love those, like, videos about dudes who are in their fucking, like, 20s or 30s, like, breaking petty vagrancy laws and like breaking into weird ass places. Like Vagrant Holiday, you've watched him too. Explain to me what Vagrant Holiday is, Dan.
So Vagrant Holiday, I'll tell you my thoughts about Vagrant Holiday in a sec, because I've watched all of his videos. There's only like six, seven,
7 or 8, yeah,
something like that. He's relatively new to YouTube, correct?
I think he had another channel. Yeah, he had another channel where he was called the Camcorder Guy.
Cam Guy, yeah.
Yeah, and he literally would just record people without their permission and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, so he goes to... He basically does Vagrant Holidays, which I didn't know what it was. It's essentially going somewhere like an actual tourist destination or going to a tour of a tourist area. So you'd go a tour across Rome or go to Japan or go to China. Maybe not China. Things like that. And you'd essentially live and tour as... technically for the cheapest you can, but more so it results in you being homeless there for your stay. You'd sleep in parks and like behind fences and behind signs and in abandoned buildings.
He's done bathrooms and under the stairs and hotels and stuff.
Yes. Very, very interesting. I will tell you, Jim, I think if I met him in real life, he'd be an absolute douchebag.
Yeah, I think I'd hate him if I met him in real life,
Me too.
I
don't think he's a nice guy. All the shit I see is horrible.
Yeah. I like the character he plays up in his videos. I like how well edited they are.
Oh, yeah,
I like the shit that's in them, but I would not be that guy's friend.
No,
and that's
I don't
totally fine. He wouldn't give a
either.
fuck either.
No, I don't think he'd give a shit. But all the stuff I see, I'm like, dude, this is sweet. And then he'll bitch about, like, not getting a good night's sleep or something. And I'm like, man.
He'll crawl out of a fucking ditch in the middle of a fucking forest. And be like,
man, my back hurts. This place is a shithole.
It rained all night.
Like, so much of the stuff when I'm watching that, he's like, man, this place is kind of a shithole. Like, there's nothing to do. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing to do because you aren't spending any money to even go in a building to do an art museum tour. You aren't spending $3 on a donation. But very interesting videos. He's just a very pessimistic person. He's a doomer, if you will.
A very sardonic man.
Yes.
Tell me what you've been watching, because me and you like a lot of the same long form content, but we sure don't like the same short form content.
Okay, so top ones I was scrolling down my subscriber feed. I've gotten back into in a very large way over the past couple months is Northern Lion. So Northern Lion, the big egg. He's gotten, I think, 900K on YouTube lately. He's a very slow grower. He's a grower, not a shower.
He's been on forever. I remember him on
a long time.
I remember he was on one of the very first co-optional podcasts 10 years ago.
Northern Lion's another one of those YouTubers who are like, I would consider him an OG YouTuber. He's been around for a long time, and he's known for streaming Isaac basically every single day. He has like probably 4,000, 5,000 videos of Isaac on his channel right now. But he's a very
probably more than that.
Probably more than that. He's very variety focused. He still plays Isaac, and I watch pretty much every Isaac video he puts out because he's so good at just banter. That's all the videos are. They're just him talking.
It's just him talking, yeah.
About shit that's happening and random little things he knows, and just talking with the audience. And he's been streaming on Twitch a lot lately, which is actually quite interesting.
I feel like it's really hard to break into that nowadays. Like, that first kind of steps of streaming that happened, like that kind of personality-driven stuff is so hard to copy nowadays.
But he's an interesting one because I've been watching him for so long, and I started about 6 months ago or however long it was ago. And you start and stuff, and you really see him change as a person. Like, a lot of his opinions change, and he's recently had a child with his wife, which has changed his content again hugely. Like, you'll see a lot of It's called Egging the Baby, but it's the thing he does at like 6 a.m. when he wakes up with the baby to record Isaac, and you can hear the baby talking in the background, and he talks to the baby and stuff, and it's very... I would describe him as a very wholesome guy. He's a very nice person to watch.
We've been watching YouTube long enough where I've seen people totally change. Like, and not even about a bad way either. We talked about before about, like, people getting called out for sexual misconduct and stuff like that, but it's not that. Like, I've been watching YouTube for
it's just different, like
over 11 12 13 years, and the people who I started watching, if they're still there, are totally different
completely different people. And you can't expect, like, I hate looking at comments on Northern Line gets it when it's like a new Isaac thing, like recently the new Isaac DLC just dropped, and there'll be comments that are like, whoa, this guy's still around, he hasn't really changed that much, and it's like, he has a totally different
accent. That man had a different fucking accent.
Yeah, you said he changed his accent. That's your conspiracy theory.
Maybe
about
maybe he put on a voice for streaming because he has a very thick, like, New York accent, I think, from one of the boroughs. But, like, he didn't sound like that when he was on YouTube.
He's from Vancouver. He's a Canadianite.
Is he?
Yeah, he's from Vancouver. He lives in he lives in Burnaby, I believe. Something like that.
Canadian man.
Other than that, the big ones I've been watching a lot lately and getting into are Atrocity Guide. There's another one I've watched their videos multiple times just because it's such good content and it's so interesting. I think my favorite video from Atrocity Guide is, I believe Atrocity Guide made it, was about the Japanese game show where the dude was locked in the room and he had to win.
That was nuts.
It's fucked. It doesn't even sound real to me. The premise is there was a Japanese game show, dude was locked into a room, you got a big prize for winning, you had no way to get out other than filling out forms in magazines to win contests.
Yeah, they didn't even give him food. They didn't give him food. He had to fill out these forms for contests to win the food.
Yeah,
and he was trapped like that for months.
Yeah, the end goal was to get winnings from contests equal to a certain amount of money. It was a lot of money. And he went a little bit crazy, obviously, because he was
trapped in a room for almost a year, I think he was in there.
Like, he took off his clothes and didn't put them back on because there's no point to wear them if you're alone. And all of this was live streamed and promoted all around the country. Like, this wasn't a small niche thing. This was like Their Price is Right. This was like huge.
This was like the most extreme form of that Big Brother show I ever put the screen. That documentary was really good.
Yeah, very good. Trusty Guide, amazing. I think if I had to say who my favorite YouTuber was that I can really think of right now is Bo Miles.
I have no idea who that is.
Bo Miles is fucking fantastic. He's an Australian content creator, and he's a motivational speaker by trade, and he works at a university as a liaison for, I believe it's the same type of speech type of stuff and motivational speaking, but I don't really know how you describe it. He does everything. He'll do videos about, like, kayaking around Africa and kayaking through Bass Strait, which is a huge Australian set of river and water and through the ocean. And he'll do a video about running a mile an hour for 24 hours and sleeping up in a big gum tree and making a shed and stuff like that. He's an amazing YouTuber. I love all his stuff. Hot Diggity Demon is another one.
Hot Diggity Demon, I've watched him before too.
Yeah,
I want to talk more about that, like, shock stuff you like, that shock, like, cringe stuff that you watch all the time.
What do you mean? What cringe stuff?
That was fucking, like, remember those videos of those dudes? Okay, that video where I went over to your place and you showed me this video and it was me and Cassie couldn't take it, had to, like, yell at you to turn it off, were these, like, guys who paid these actresses to play their moms. And then they started, like, screaming at the actresses and saying, like, yeah, that shit, I can't stand that stuff.
Oh, fuck. What is that video called?
I have no idea.
Shit.
So this video Dan showed me was these, like, 5 guys paid these actresses off, like, newspaper ads to pretend to be their mothers. They basically told them they were making, like, an informational video or something. And the information video was like one of the women found their son with porn or something, so they were talking about that, and it just devolved to this, like, degenerative fucking madness that I couldn't even watch. Where they were literally like shrieking obscenities at these women, and I don't know how you find these videos. I do not like them.
I'm gonna need to find that video again because now I want to watch it again.
But also that guy who did, we just watched this recently, the guy who did those videos where he was like in the background of Zoom calls or whatever, like shrieking about.
Too Mad. Yeah, you really don't like Too Mad.
I really don't like that kind of humor either. I
love Too Mad. I didn't write Too Mad on here, but that is Too Mad and Cold Ones. If you watch any of Cold Ones and Max and Chad and stuff.
Yeah, I did watch some of that a bit. But I can only take it in small doses.
That's
I'm
my
not
personality.
geared towards that. Yeah.
Like, some videos of Too Mad are even too much for me, but all of them are hilarious. That shit makes me die.
I think the last thing I wanted to say about, like, the general YouTube space is that, yes, I was watching a lot of video game stuff when I was younger, but I watch YouTube, like, videos about... I've subscribed to people about cooking and making weird houses and camping and technology and all this different shit. Like, YouTube can be whatever you want. It's not just stupid fucking content for tweens.
Yeah, true. I'm going to go down kind of quick and say what the other YouTubers I have on my list, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, totally. Read me off some.
A huge one for me is another old one is iDubbbz. I still watch iDubbbz to this day. He's started streaming.
I can't watch him either.
Really? Why?
Nope, I can't watch him at all.
iDubbbz is amazing. Got a lot of crap a couple months ago because his girlfriend announced, maybe it was a year ago now, I bet. His girlfriend announced she was starting an OnlyFans, and a lot of people unsubscribed and stuff, and it didn't affect him at all because he didn't give a shit. And I think for a bit I was like, I might have a hard time watching you. And then I realized I literally don't give a shit. It's not my girlfriend. Why should I care?
Yeah.
So I still love him. Internet Historian is
a really good. Yeah.
Pretty much every video is an instant watch. I stop what I'm doing and need to watch it. And he's started making long form content too, like hour and a half long content. Amazing shit. And his second channels are great too. JonTron, I brought that up earlier. Been watching him for a long time. I've kind of... Well, he doesn't really make much stuff anymore. It feels like I don't know. If it's just
don't talk to me about that because there was a 2.5 year period where he didn't make anything at all. I don't even know how that man survived.
Yeah, me neither. Video Game Donkey. I love every single video by Video Game Donkey and Leah.
They're all good.
Fantastic stuff. I wish Leah would make more videos because her videos are hilarious too on her main channel.
I think she has a real life and a real job. So.
I think she does too. But her shit's crazy good. Nakey Jakey is another one.
Oh, he's amazing.
Fucking fantastic. I found Nakey Jakey actually by his music before he started YouTubing.
I only don't like one of his songs. He's got 5 songs released right now. But the other songs are so fucking good. They are great.
Insanely good. They're very unique and they're very real songs. Like they don't have a high production value and stuff, and they're very unique with what they do. I love Nakey Jakey's videos. I think he's changed the YouTube space too in his own way. Other ones I have last 2 are William Osman and Simone. What is it? Geertz?
Simone Geertz. Yeah.
I have them. William Osman is like a chaotic male version of Simone Geertz.
I've never heard of him. Yeah.
You'd like William Osman. Simone Geertz is they're both engineers by trade, I believe, but they've just evolved into like making lunatic videos.
They're makers, yes.
Yeah. Simone Geertz makes more like usable things. William Osman makes more like insanity things.
She did make that sex doll, animatronic like Westworld robot on a fucking track. Do you remember that video? There was a video where she made like a sex doll robot, and then it was like 2 or 3 years later she made a video. I think we watched this when we were over for Cassie's birthday, where she had like entombed that sex doll in the fucking like roof of her shop, and she had to like turn it into a grave.
Make it a tomb. Jim, can I say 2 more, please, really quickly?
2 more. Go.
Swell Entertainment. Jim, you'd like Swell Entertainment. Look her up after. I guarantee you'll like her. And then, my God, I don't know how you say her name, but it's just, I think it's Izzy ZZZ. It's just IZZYZZZ.
Okay.
Both amazing female content creators. They're fantastic. I love all their videos.
I will look
That's
them
it
up.
from me.
Okay.
You'll like Swell Entertainment.
So now, we have another surprise for everybody.
Surprise! Do you want to say anything before we do this?
No. About what? About YouTube?
I don't know. Do you have anything? Yeah, do you have anything left?
It always surprises me that YouTube has stayed relevant this long, that I'm still watching YouTube over the last 10 years, like religiously. I watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh, Christ, me too. Yeah, YouTube's my content stream. I almost always have something playing.
And YouTube is really shitty in terms of like supporting people who use the app and making sure that videos aren't taken down. And
abusive relationship.
But I don't see it going away pretty soon. It would be so sad if it like one day YouTube was just gone and we lost all these videos.
Yeah, that'd be like the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
Literally, man.
Yeah.
All right. On that dour note, we have a surprise for you, everybody. All right, we're back. We're back in the shack once again, and we've brought another guest. Who is it, Dan? Introduce our guest.
Who is it? It's your fantastic, fabulous friend, Brandon.
Hello, it's me, Brandon.
It's the mysterious man we talk about all the time, who's addicted to Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes,
what's
hello,
your art
everyone.
handles? Because you actually do stuff online and have things people could look at.
Yeah, what's your art handle, Bran?
Oh man, that's so my art station is brandonchen.artstation.com. I think there's an underscore between the Brandon and Chen.
People can
Instagram,
definitely dox you with that. That's your
absolutely. Instagram is bchen.art on Instagram, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, enough of that fucking shit, Bran. Enough of your self-promotion garbage.
Enough of the plugging. I apologize.
You're our second guest after Patrice, and
I'm honored.
You have your own topic, and it better be good, or we'll never have you back.
Yes, my topic, I've just finished a run for the first time of Dark Souls, and I've been playing some Doom Eternal, and I'm starting Dark Souls 3 this weekend.
Time?
Yeah, first time I've ever beaten Dark Souls, yeah. So I think it's only appropriate to talk about difficulty in video games.
It's our topic. It's our topic for episode 14, everybody, is difficulty in video games.
A hot topic. I mean, I've just finished Dark Souls, so I'm an epic gamer now, so I figured I'd talk about that.
Epic gamer. Yeah, you're going to hear my hot gamer opinions on Dark Souls, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what my opinions on hard games are. Like, it'll be interesting to talk about. I'll have to formulate my opinions on some games.
Yeah, I mean, you could always be the neutral party in our discussion too, and just not know, and then be swayed by either Jim or I.
We're not gonna prep for this freaking podcast. We never do. I did get this quote that I'm gonna read to end off our podcast. It's from everyone's favorite. It's from me and Dan's favorite. It's from Dave Oshry. Do you want to hear what Dave Oshry said? Do you want to hear what Dave Oshry said, Brand and Dan?
Of course. Yes.
Okay. So Dave Oshry is the guy who runs New Blood, and he who makes Dusk and all that shit. And he said, this is on the developer thing for Dusk. He said, lower difficulties are there to help people learn the game or make the game accessible to those who have a hard time playing it. Be nice about it or I'll fuck your mom.
Wise words from a wise man.
All right. So that's the end of episode 13, lucky number 13 of Shack Out Back. Do you have
Goodbye,
anything?
ladies and gentlemen. Is that it? Do you have something else to say?
Do you have anything to say, Dan or Bran?
I don't have anything to say.
How are you going to take us out, Brandon? Guest Brandon, how are you going to take us out of here?
Well, see y'all next week, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about difficulty in video games.
Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jill.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.
I'm sorry, okay, bye.